This is the 103rd episode of F1 Podcast. And Max, let's get straight into it. We're going to talk about USF1 first of all. They've had their launch this week, and I was looking at it on the internet, as I know you were, mate. So let's talk about what Peter's had to say, what Kenny Anderson's had to say.
Mate, I think it's looking good. I counted how many times Peter Windsor said skunk works during his interviews, and it was 412 times, which is great. I mean, they're obviously going to try and do a lean, mean operation, which under the current climate is a sensible thing to do. I think you'd agree.
Yeah.
And these two aren't clowns. I mean, Kenny Anderson, as a lot of you will know, has got a wonderful history in motorsport, particularly racing in the United States, and he's built one hell of a wind tunnel. And I think most pundits realise that the wind tunnel that he's built is second to none. I always thought Sauber's wind tunnel was awesome, but this guy's one is something else out of the box, and it bodes well. And I think it's a pretty bold move by USF1 to, not ironically, base their operation in North Carolina, going against the grain of having an operation in Europe. So I think it's a case of wait and see, mate.
Yeah, I thought Peter Windsor in his comments were pretty sobering. Like you said, mate, they're running a pretty lean budget, much lower than what we're used to seeing in Formula One. And they're very pragmatic. I think they're good businessmen, and I really hope, when all new teams start, mate, I hope that they do well. It happened with Spiker, it happened with Midland. I'm always hopeful that they will do well. And we'll have to see. They're talking about getting at least one North American driver, if not two, in 2010. I suspect probably they will only have one. And as to who that is, we've talked about that in the past. But I think they're very pragmatic about the way that they're going about Formula One. Peter Windsor, a lot of people know he was the Williams. He worked with Williams. He also worked with Ferrari. So he's not. A lot of people think, oh, he's just a journalist, or they think about the journalistic side. He's actually, being in Formula One in the thick end, Max.
Yeah, he's not a dummy. Neither him or Kenny Anderson are dummies. They know what they're doing, and this has been a long time in the making. And I think our American friends have a lot to be excited about. I know, there's been a lot of conflict on our podcast as well about people thinking that it's a waste of time, a bad idea, it can't work and all that sort of thing. But I'm a firm believer in these guys are bringing something different, something exciting to Formula One, and I think they're to be applauded. And I think it's wonderful. Peter Windsor was saying that we're not bringing Formula One to America, we're bringing America to Formula One. And I think it's long overdue. But one of the things I really liked the other day when I was watching Peter and Kenny being interviewed on Speed TV was an interview with Dan Gurney. And it was great to see Dan Gurney giving his opinions on things, and what a terrific racer he was, mate.
Yeah.
There is a proud tradition of Americans in not only motorsport but in Formula One, and Dan Gurney for me pretty much personifies what Formula One is to the United States.
And all this is going to do, of course, is put more pressure on there being a race back in America, which is a good thing. So
we need a race in North America, and I really hope that this is a jumping off point, I guess, for the reinstatement of a US Grand Prix. But I'd dearly love to see Canada back.
It has to be. So hopefully that'll be the case. All right, mate. Let's move on to Nico Rosberg. Nico wants a race-winning car, and he's running out of patience a little bit. And I can't say that I blame him because of the Williams package over the last couple of years. What I would say, mate, is join the club. There's so many great races out there.
You're not alone, Nico. They all want a race-winning car. I mean,
Mark Webber's another one.
You're not alone, Nico. They all want a race-winning car. But yeah, look, I can understand the kids' frustration at the end of the day. I mean. I remember when Webber went to Williams, and they had two of the shittest years they've ever had.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with budget constraints, poor old Nico finds himself in a car that doesn't seem to be developed the whole way through a season. And I can understand his concern, but I know the boys at Williams are working, flat out to give both drivers, him and Nakajima, a bullet of a car. And I guess at the end of the day, when you're not driving for one of the top three, mate, this is what happens. But yeah, look, I'd like to see Nico in a quick car.
I'm sure Keke would as well.
Techie'd love it, absolutely. And I really hope that the Toyota engine this year and that in the back of the Williams is a bullet of an engine. And the guys at Williams always put out a good car. And I really hope, mate, that you know, you have a great season this year. But yeah, no doubt about it, he's turned around Williams and done something that I consider as fairly dangerous, because Williams, as you know, have a history of getting rid of drivers with no problems whatsoever. They did it to Villeneuve, they did it to Hill in at the end of '96.
Even when they win the World Championship.
See you later, bye. So Nico ought to be a little bit careful, I would suspect, in basically what I would assume is a borderline ultimatum. I need a winning car next year, and if it's with Williams, great. If not, well, so be it. So I'll keep a close eye on that one.
Well, while we're talking about Williams, of course, they lost Royal Bank of Scotland this week, although they are going to continue to sponsor the team for 2009 and 2010. And I put a comment on the channel saying that I don't think Sir Frank could have been too surprised, given that ING, Credit Suisse, and this whole global financial situation. And when you've got a major sponsor who's a bank who's lost a lot of money, and they made their announcement just this week as to how much money they did lose, I can't imagine they would have been too surprised. And I think that sponsors will step up to the plate. I hope that they will. So you might lose RBS, but hopefully you'll get someone else. And I'm sure that whoever is responsible at Williams to get new sponsorship, the heat's on, mate. They've got to deliver and get some more sponsors on that car, and they've got time, thankfully, to do that.
Yeah, probably one of the most difficult roles in Formula One is getting new sponsors on a car.
A role that I would love, Max.
Oh yeah, you'd excel at it.
Oh, give me that job.
Pep and I are both in finance, so this is no surprise to us what's been happening. But look, it's a sad day for Williams. I mean, if McLaren aren't nicking Williams sponsors as they have over however many years now, the sponsors are just dropping off. And unfortunately, for a team that relies quite heavily on sponsorship, it's a bit of a crushing blow to Williams. But you don't get to be on the grid for nigh on 40 years, mate, if you don't know what you're doing. And
exactly.
I think the Williams name or the Williams brand itself lends itself to other sponsors jumping on board, and I sincerely hope that happens.
I think it will, mate. And we'll see you soon for the next one.
Alright guys, less than 30 days to go.
Oh yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
It must be true.